welcome back. We'll switch gears now and talk about election matters. Politics. You hear today, you know, the appeal court has declared another candidate as the winner, tribunals, and this time we're looking at Abia State. And the appeal court has declared the candidates of the All Progressive Congress, that's Grand Alliance, thank you, Abia, Dr. Alex Oti, as the winner of the Abia State governorship election. The court delivered the judgment on the election petition on the last day of the year 2015. And so the ripple effects. What does this judgment mean? We have in the House, it's raining lawyers, right?
It's raining lawyers.
Okay, we have legal practitioners here. Let me start with the human rights and constitutional lawyer, Anthony Agbaziri. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anthony Agbaziri.
Okay, doctor.
Yes.
All right. And we have the two Ubanis. On one side, we have Onyekachi Ubani, who is also a legal practitioner. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
And Chigozie Ubani, public affairs analyst. Are you brothers?
Well, we look like brothers. Yeah. From the same forefather.
Maybe Dubani traveled and traveled.
Yeah, there is one
Not
forefather.
the same father,
but they are
mother.
scattered. Some in rivers, some even in Delta State.
Okay, thank you for being here. Let me start with Mr. Dr. Anthony Agbaziri, and who is also a former Abia Commissioner for Information.
Yes.
What do you think about the judgment?
Thank you very much. The judgment in its entirety is perverse, is incorrect, is illogical, and is not sustainable. First of all, you recall that the PDP in Abia raised an alarm when this panel of justices of the Court of Appeal were set up. They sent a petition to the President of the Court of Appeal, and it was also published in this newspaper, The Guardian, page 5. Thereafter, personally too, when I saw what was happening, I was also on air, Radio Nigeria, and I raised that. I said, well, and that is the position of the law. If a matter is before any judge, and one party says, we don't have confidence of getting justice, those people should have distanced themselves from that matter, but they did not. Now, why do I say it's perverse? It is perverse because it is no longer news. Everybody in Nigeria is aware that what happens today is that anywhere where the two top contenders in an election, the first person and second person, the difference in their votes, if it's less than the number of registered voters in the areas cancelled or areas where elections did not take place, it is supposed to be rerun in accordance with INEC guidelines. But that's INEC guidelines. Now, if they want to use that option, they couldn't have declared the Abga candidate. They would have said, after cancelling the local government area, they should have said rerun. Now, the second reason for why I say it is perverse is, if they don't want to told that option, and they want to told the option they told, which is the option of Section 179, subsection 2 of the Constitution, which has said that if you score highest number of votes, and then you have secured 25% in 2/3 of local government areas, you'll be declared, which is what they did now. They should have looked at the matter to also discover that there were two elections in Abia over this governorship. One, 11th of April, that's the main election, and then supplementary. And that at that of 11th of April, Governor Dr. Okezi Ikpeazu satisfied Section 1, the provisions of Section 179, Subsection 2, by securing highest number of votes and also 25% of 2/3. And that is why at the Supreme Court, being fair, the judgment of the Court of Appeal will collapse, because if they now go by that way, that means Okezi Ikpeazu should be declared governor. And I have also said it as a constitutional lawyer, that even supplementary elections in Nigeria is unconstitutional. But what happened was that even as at that time, personally too, I was Commissioner of Information then, I raised it, but they said, well, since INEC is like a referee, and referee is still in the pitch, let us keep obeying until after. So you now see, it cannot stand the test of time. And again, even these two plunges, very clear. And I tell you now, you see, even today, how can you disenfranchise over 300,000 people? The 3 local government areas. I understand somebody just called me now that the whole of Abia has been blocked. Those people from that local government areas of Osisioma, Obingwa, and Iselang were not. That place now is blocked. Call your people that they'll tell you. That place now is blocked. So you see, it is wrong. What I've just said, in summary, in one sentence, my sister, is that if they want to rely on INEC guidelines, then there should be rerun. If they want to rely on the Constitution, which I agree is superior, Ukezipa should be also declared winner by virtue of election conducted on 11th of April 2015. And the other one that they call supplementary election of 25th of April 2015 is a supplementary election to me, which is even in conflict with the Constitution. So howsoever they go, Ipas will still be declared.
Okay, let's move to Onyekachi.
Why are you bringing two lawyers at the same time?
He has said that the judgment is perverse in his words, incorrect.
Yes, and illogical.
And illogical. What do you think about this judgment?
Well, as a lawyer, and then as a neutral person, but a stakeholder, a son of the soil, I would try as much as possible to be less sentimental, but look at what is the law, and the law is very key. Now, I understand that the three local government areas were nullified or cancelled by the Court of Appeal. And one of them is Obingwa, which wasn't part of the supplementary election. I understand that that particular election has been upheld by the same Court of Appeal. In other cases, there are some people that have gone to court, like some of the candidates in State House of Assembly election. That election, that Obingwa's election, has been upheld by the Court of Appeal. But in this particular governorship election, the Court of Appeal now has cancelled Obingwa's election. So there is a lot of contradiction here. And that's why we keep on saying that the court should minimally interfere, with the issue of mandate of the people. The mandate of any person that wants to be anything in this country by way of holding public office must be determined by the electorate. But most times we run to the court because of the fact that there is always allegation of irregularities and all that. Our electoral system must come to the level of sanity where the mandate will be determined by the people, not the judiciary. Because sometimes judiciary can interfere and then, met out some level of absurdity. Now look at this. In three local government councils, you cancel the election. I understand that the combined registered voters in those three local government amount to over 260-something voters. And now you determine the mandate of a governor of a state where you have over 1 million registered voters with only 164,000 votes. It gives you, as a Democrat, you get worried that in a state where you have over 1 million registered voters, and in a state where three local government council elections are excluded by the Court of Appeal, where if you combine those three, it is even more than the so-called vote now you have allocated to the governor, now who is now going to be the governor of a state. It sounds, the judge should have been worried. Now, if you have discovered in your findings that the lower court was perverse in their findings, and you now found out that there was overvoting, as the court found out in all those three local government councils, there are procedures for you to have taken, one of which is ask for a wrong for those three local government councils. More so, when you have discovered that the combined vote will substantially affect the result. 200 and something voters. And you say the governor should go in and become a governor of a state with 264,000. You become worried, because that is not actually the majority not having their way. It is now the minority having a say on their way. So that is where I'm having problem with that particular judgment. I was initially opposed to Supreme Court being the final court in gubernatorial matters. But what things like this, especially also in Abia and Taraba, you find out that the Supreme Court wisdom now is very key. That those who may have decided that the Supreme Court should be the final court of the land, you have some level of wisdom in what they have done. Because if you see this particular judgment where minority now is the one determining the mandate of a governor of a state, then you become very worried. So I think that the Supreme Court will clearly look at this case, and look at all the surrounding circumstances and begin to look, reach a conclusion that will be in consonance with justice.
Okay, I would just like to mention here that we're hoping to have plenty of lawyers in the house because it's a legal matter.
Yes, right.
We're still expecting another legal practitioner, Uche Okeke, who's supposed to be here with us to help clarify. And incidentally, all of you happen to be from that side. So let's go to the non-lawyer in the house here. Mr. Bani, Chigozie Ubani.
That's right.
What's your stand in all of this?
Frankly, I let me even start by drawing your attention. The security agencies should look into Abia at the moment, so that we don't experience a breakdown of law and order.
That's right.
There has to be human beings for a governor to emerge and then govern the people. So the Inspector General of Police should call the police commissioner. DSS should look, right there and look into what is going on. My stand on the matter is that I'm even glad that my state, Abia, is in the laundry house now, so that by the time we are, out of this, we'll be cleaner. Abia has been unlucky since creation. Apart from Dr. Obunayon, who, gentleman, read, he was overwhelmed by what he, inherited, especially coming from the feudal forces that concocted the creation of those states and then handed him over. But no one can accuse him of stealing from the state. We moved to some very funny characters who managed to get into office, from the unfit even to the subhuman, plundering the state.